Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lucky Nagarajan with Geek in America. Welcome to DFI and Women in Deep Foundations Committee webinars. We are excited to bring these webinar series, Converting Crisis into Opportunity, Different Perspectives, to you all. This webinar series is aimed to support industry during this challenging COVID-19 time. Webinar is planned twice a month with speakers and panelists from different backgrounds discussing thought-provoking issues. I would like to thank DFI Women in Deep Foundations Committee, Mary Ellen, Teresa, Engler, Carol Linitzer, Jamie from DFI. Special thanks to Karen Armfield with AKRF, Giselle and Joanna from AECOM, Sayantani from Langen, and Arpana Sabu from WSP. They are part of the New York City group, and they have been supporting and organizing these webinars with me. So here is a attendee control panel for you all. As you can see, if you want to see it in show in full screen mode, you can press this icon. And if you have any questions, there is a tab for questions where you can actually enter the questions throughout the webinar. And we will be coming back to the question and answer session at the end of the webinar. Next slide, please. So we have a special speaker today all the way from Brazil, Vanessa Guimarães. She's a beautiful, phenomenal, kind-hearted, and an amazing woman who likes to lead. She's also enthusiastic of sisterhood and female empowerment as ways to social transformation. She is founder of Elas Projetam, a community for women's professional development in Brazil. She promotes the professional qualification and visibility of women in project management, advocates for gender equality at the corporate level, and mentors women towards empowerment and independence. She and her company has also recognized the importance of having a training and certifying program for 100 women in 100 days. She will be sharing that with us as well. I'm very excited to welcome Vanessa Guimarães to learn more about Elas Projetam initiatives and activities. It's so great to see you, Vanessa.
Thank you, Lucky. Thank you to everybody organizing the Women in Deep Foundations webinars. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. I will try to explain a little bit of what we have been doing and also to give a little insights on training and development for women in management and especially in project management. I understand that the majority here might be engineers, and engineers usually don't get in touch with project management right in the beginning of their careers, but they always hear about it. So what I'm bringing today might be of interest for most of you. So hopefully it will bring powerful insights to everybody. So my name, as Lucky was mentioning, is Vanessa. I'm a Brazilian lady. I'm the CEO of Elas Projetam. Elas Projetam has been out there for 2 years, and we have been going on and off between becoming a company and actually going into turning an NGO. So for 2 years, we weren't very well defined as either a company or an NGO, but we have finally decided to become a company, and that changed everything for us. But first, we went through a few very important decisions. In the beginning, we thought that we had to work with training, and for 2 years, that's what we were focusing on delivering training, or in at least organizing and promoting training among women. But very quickly, we understood that development is actually what we should be talking about. And there is a difference between training and development, and especially when we are talking about women. When we talk about training, we are focusing on performance. We are trying to deliver something that is very immediate, that they can deliver something for a specific goal, usually on demand. That's training, promoting and developing specific skills. When we are talking about development, we are talking about career, lifelong learning. We are talking about a holistic approach to the professional. We are talking about the personal and professional development. We're not talking only about professional skills. We're also talking about empowerment, and we are talking about a strategy, not just one specific ability or one specific skill, but we're talking about a full strategy towards that professional development track for that specific individual. So training was what we were supposed to be focusing on rather than training. So that being said, we in the beginning we were just a profile on social media. So that's how we started. And all the pictures you are seeing here, you will see during these presentations, they are from trainings that we have developed and delivered. So we were only a profile on social media. It began and I originated everything from some sort of discontent placement, or a discontent place where I was coming from in the industry, that I wasn't seeing women in events. They were not speaking unless it was about female leadership. They were only part of a panel if it was about diversity. We were not there to speak about strategy. We're not there to speak about management itself. We were not there about to talk about results. We were not there to be heard by the CEOs. We are only there to speak about diversity, leadership, soft skills, sometimes communication, and mainly to also a female audience. So there was something going on that we were not being heard by those who were making the decisions, and therefore we were not also being considered for the decision making. So obviously it's not solved, the problem, but I started talking about this on social media. And when I first created the profile of Elas Projetam, and Elas Projetam in Portuguese means elas is like they make projects. That would be Elas Projetam. But in Portuguese, they have both female and male pronouns. So elas is specifically the female pronoun. So Elas Projetam. Very quickly, plus the pink color, I attracted for the first day, the first post, I attracted 60 women coming to my private message to talk to me and say, hey, I like it. I feel that way. I want to know more. How can I help? I want to join. Where are you based? And I was like, I'm just, it was just a social media post. But very quickly I realized it was bigger than me. And then I decided to quit my job and etc. So I was going to focus completely on trying to make that a structured proposal for women development in the project industry. So the volunteers started coming in. So they came, and then we were doing random things, and I mean random because it was not organized. So one day we would do a live, and then the other day we would do something different. So for almost 2 years, a year or so, we were experimenting. That's what we were doing, experimenting. We experimented with more than 18 projects. Some things happened publicly, some things happened in the background, but we were experimenting, and I gave myself a deadline of 2 years to experiment a lot so we could see what would actually work. So these experiments were events. One of them was the 100 Women in 100 Days Challenge we launched last year. I'll talk about it further and in the next few slides. But then in July this year, I decided, no, we are gonna stop everything that we are doing. We're gonna start organizing ourselves so we can become a company and act as a company and present ourselves as a company and start doing everything very organized so we can have more impact and actually deliver more benefits to our community. So this putting women on the spotlight is very complicated. There are several things that need to be addressed beforehand. Self-confidence is always a problem when we give them the spotlight, but then the ones who volunteer, they're the ones who do not need us. Usually they're like, oh yes, I can do that. Usually the senior ones, the most empowered ones, they go like, I want to do that. But then the majority, they don't even say a word. And those are the ones who are actually my focus. They are the ones who need help to have self-confidence so they can actually be out there and speak their minds and do not feel afraid of have an opinion in a meeting. Or and you have to understand that the project industry is mainly technology, so we are talking about a completely dominated by men environment. So self-confidence is something that is always needs to be addressed. Although I decided to go with a strategy where we don't talk about self-confidence, but there are several strategies in everything we do in the background that are there, but nobody notices. I'll show how it worked when I go to when I present better in detail the 100 women in 100 days in the men's life. Personal branding was something that was also lacking. So we have men who have participated in one workshop and then they go out there saying they are a specialist and giving seminars about that because they participated in one workshop or they attended one boot camp and they already present themselves as a specialist. And we were and we had women who had, for example, 12 years of experience, 15 years of experience. They have already been in several roles in a project team and still applying for a position as an analyst, not a manager. And we're like, what is missing? Why are you not applying for a manager position when you already have an MBA, two postgraduate courses, you already have 15 years of experience, 3 international certifications, you speak another language? What is missing? And so uh, they were lacking self-confidence, but also they were not doing their personal branding the best way they could. And they were lacking female references as well. So the fact that they were not seeing many women out there, and not just seeing, but also finding those women, having access to them, and understanding and being able to have some sort of exchange, or at least a close communication, or some contact, or at least knowing that those women are real, or learning something about their trajectory, that was lacking as well. And protagonism as well, which is more than just self-confidence plus personal branding plus having female references. Protagonism is you have all that, plus you also are very proactive about the fact that you want to be on spotlight, and you understand, and you have the the deep understanding of the situation, the environment, the context, and the bigger picture, that you have to do that because otherwise someone else will do, and it might be a male figure. And it's not a competition between men and women, but I say for myself, for example, for several times I am invited to places, and I know I'm being invited because I'm the only Black person they know. And I know that for you in the US, I'm more considered Latin than Black, but in Brazil, I'm completely Black. So in Brazil, I'm invited to be part of some events and speak at events because I'm the only Black person they know in management, whatever. And I have to accept, I have to go. I know it's because of that, but that they're inviting me, but I have to be there because otherwise, who's gonna do that? Or I should appoint someone that I know that is also a Black person to go there and do that. But anyways, we have to take that space and make that ours and do our best and rock and roll. And that's how we start making a difference. So protagonism was also missing. When we decided to launch the 100 women in 100 days, that was very careful decision. First, we had to choose there was a very good opportunity for us. We have a major institute, which is Project Management Institute, which is PMI. Some of you might know. PMI was beginning to stop talking about PMP, which is their main certification, the Project Management Manager Professional certification. Well, certification. So they were stopping. They were beginning to stop talking about that because they were about to launch their Agile certification. And they're the main certification in project management. There was also this buzz about all the Agile certifications going on, but no one was actually talking about project management as it is, just the plain uh, developing idea to deliver benefits. Done. That's it. It's not a Scrum. It's not uh, Agile teams. It's not the Scrum Master, product owner, etc. None of that. Just delivering benefits. Nobody was talking about that. So there was an opportunity for us to do that, and there was a good partner for us to do that because they had just appointed, and I'm talking about Axelos. Axelos is a joint venture of the British government, and they have their own project management certification, which is Prince 2. So they had just appointed someone to be in the Americas for the first time, a representative, and I was like, everything is connected. There is an opportunity for us to do that. There was the network as well. So all of these players. So I connected with these people. I talked to them. Also, our network, our community was starting to gain some structure and also to be better developed. And they needed readiness for the market. So we decided, well, let's do that. Let's qualify to empower. So that was our strategy. The process was we're going to integrate these women, prepare, certify, and then celebrate. That means we're going to make first of all, in each city we go, and we went to, we had 9 groups. So the 9 groups, first we had a happy hour, but not just a happy hour. It was like you have to talk among each other. The biggest group, we managed to make a workshop for empowerment in this integrate part. So they had to know each other because we need to create more references for them to go to the market, and afterwards they can actually mention, oh, I know this other woman, I know this other woman. If anyone asks, do you know someone who's also a project manager, and they go like, I know at least 20 women who were also in the training with me, and they're all internationally certified. So integrating was probably the most important part of the entire, I'm gonna say, boot camp. Preparing them, so an entire weekend, immersive weekend of preparation and of learning and training. So these pictures are from the same group. They were immersed. We rented the house for a weekend, and they were all immersed, sleeping and eating, everybody together during from Friday to Sunday night. We got them certified Sunday evening, and then we celebrated throughout Sunday night. So which was very cool as well. But after that, they all left there with a sense of, I belong to this community. I belong with these women. We grew together, and we actually got 100% of these 100 women approved. Getting them approved was the least important thing, and that's what they had to understand during the process. Like, we want you to get approved, and we took care that everything was in place, that they would be approved. We were very sure that they would be approved in the end. We made sure it would happen with our process, but they were worried they wouldn't be approved. But that was not the case. That should not be the focus. They should be focused on the empowerment track, which was actually what we were providing, and the prosperity journey, which is the development idea that I was mentioning before, which is now I have a wider network of professionals. Now I have the knowledge, I understood, I know about another method. I went through this with several other women. It was an immersive thing, so I went through a challenge. It was a personal challenge for them as well. With women they didn't know before, and they had to get together for and get along as well for an entire weekend of stressful situation, which is trying to get approved in an exam. So that was bigger than getting the certificate in here. We didn't focus so much in delivering this message, but that was a lesson learned that we are going to emphasize from now on. But here you see this statement. Actually, it's almost a slogan that we are using now. And mulheres is women in Portuguese, and it was actually, I forgot to translate, but then in the end, Lucky decided leave it there. It looks good. We should know how women is represented also in another language. So mulheres, that's women in Portuguese. So women grow better in community, and yes, they do. In fact, there are a few studies that prove that, I wouldn't say women, but minorities, and maybe one day men will be the representative minority, and they might start organizing themselves in communities as well. It's not a women thing; it's actually a representative minority thing. But yes, women grow better in community. We have learned that the fact that they have a safe space, a safe environment makes all the difference. So having a safe environment is crucial for their development. So when I say a safe environment means everyone here is here committed to the same purpose. Everyone here is, no one here is judging. No one here is judging. Everyone here is vulnerable, which is very powerful to see other people vulnerable in the same place, same time with you for the same purpose. And that community grow makes you grow a lot better. The groups where we had a better connection among the participants, they had a better result in the end. The groups where we had some groups, we had a few men joining us, not many, but a few men joined us as well. So in the end, out of the 100 women in 100 days, we actually had 112 people being 11 men. So these men were also very distinct, I would say, because they were men who also felt represented in a group of women. And they were very different. The way that they treated these women and the way that they acknowledged what was going on and that they respected what was going on was also very important for us. And they understood, and they made it a safe, they kept it as a safe environment as well. So women grow better in community. Mulheres crescem melhor em comunidade. That would be the Portuguese version of that. So 100 women in 100 days. That made us. That gave us. That was the major project we had. That was last year. For this year, we have a few next steps coming ahead. So care revolution. Everything that I mentioned here, that was us taking care of our community. That was us taking care of everybody who got involved with us. So a care revolution that is necessary for everything that we have to do from now on. And that is what we believe, not just for our work, but that's what we believe that has to happen from now on in the organizations. I'm not sure if we can influence enough for the organizations to start working in that logic, but that's what we are going to promote from now on. a focus on development rather than training. So what you saw was integrate, prepare, certify, celebrate. That's not training. The training would be prepare, meaning you come, we deliver the training, either you pass or not, that's it. We didn't do that. In fact, should anyone fail the exam, we already had a strategy where all of those women participating in the same training, the same session, where one of them failed, because we would travel the next day. Me, when I say we, it's like me and the instructor and the person giving us some support, because the team would travel and leave the city. We would leave those women behind, leave behind. So they would have to take care of each other. So you have to have a strategy as a group, and we would not leave the city before finding that strategy as a group. So you guys have to have a strategy as a group to help this one person who has not passed until she passes, because unless we all pass, we have not succeeded. That was the initial message, but we did not need to get to that because they all passed the exam. A custom journey, which is actually a customized approach to everything that we do for each individual. So we are going to start learning more about them. I'm going to put myself out there and open an agenda for them to schedule uh, times with me specifically, so I can have a one-on-one session with every single woman who are part of our community and who wants to talk to me. What do I want with that? I want to learn their profiles. I want to be available for them, and I want to be as a company and also as a person. I want to be available for them, but especially to understand what their needs are, so I can offer what is actually a demand, so we can customize everything and prepare something for that journey specific. So we will follow each profile and develop something for each profile, but with general strategies, data-driven strategy. So everything we do, we will collect data from now on. We weren't doing that. We were in a general way. So I do have data general, but we were not focusing on that when we decided to collect those data. So we are now going to do that. Everything is going to have an indicator beforehand. And B2C, which is what we have been doing. But then our focus will be B2B as well, once we actually organize these custom journeys and that we actually can do the care revolution. So this is what we are planning to do. This is what we do, and this is who we are. So Elas Projetam is here for every woman. Soon we will be, probably next year, we will be bilingual as well, and have potentially by the second semester next year, we might be offering support for women all over the world. So thank you very much. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to help to answer. Thank you.
Hi, Vanessa. Thank you so much. That was such an inspiring story. um, there is so much to learn from this program that you have created, you and your company has created. I really like how you call this as a boot camp. I kind of can connect there, just because, by going to boot camp once or twice a week gives me so much of self confidence. Just because I'm doing something, and focus on development is such an important message. And where you said, like, how you were connecting with each and every woman who were part of that 100 women program. That is such a big task, and also such an important task to understand how they actually perform and what do they need to perform well, right? That was amazing.
Yeah.
I do have some questions. So what motivated you to start something like this?
Disappointment, I think. I was very disappointed with how I saw myself being neglected, because I don't know, I was very disappointed with how the industry was doing and I was by then I was the director in one institute, and even though it was a not-for-profit institute, I saw many things happening, and it was all in the same industry, all the project industry, and I was like, this is not happening. I cannot understand. This is not good. This is not okay. I have to do something. At the same time, I was also working with women victims of domestic violence. So I was already like motivated of doing. I needed to do something for women, and then in my industry, I saw something happening that was not okay, and I was like, that's it. Got to do something. So
Very good, very good. Thank you. And what is the most difficult aspect of building self-confidence among women? What do you see?
self-sabotage. There, yes. Uh, it's very complex because society says no, you're not good enough. Their partners probably say you're not worth it. Their peers don't acknowledge how good they are. Their friends don't understand what they do. Their family don't care as much about their work as they care about their whether they're married and with kids. There is nothing saying this should be a priority for you. So the big problem is anything we do betting on their own professional development journey is like a fifth, sixth priority. That's the big problem. So that's why they don't have the self-confidence. It's not a priority, so they never address that. There is always a lot of things going on before. So you should focus on this, because if you're not a great professional, and if you're not happy, and if you don't have a employability level this high, you will not be independent. By not being independent, you depend on someone else. If you depend on someone else, and then blah, and then you know the drill, So yeah, so very complicated to change that. But plus you have historical heritage of, I don't know. And then we have here in Brazil the Latin culture, which is also very sexist, and I don't know. There's not one factor.
And that's very true. That's very true. Sabotage. Uh, that's a very, very important word to recognize, what happens when you're working in a man's world. I agree with you.
Yeah, men's world, yeah.
So 100 women in 100 days. How was the selection done of these candidates? How were they selected?
No selection. If you want to do it, we'll help you. You
Oh,
want to do
okay.
it? We'll get you through it. And it was paid as well, because the certification is in dollars and etc. So we did not have any sponsorship. I just not add any profit. I just charged for the cost of the certification, and we deliver the training for free. But yes, since it's very expensive for us in our currency when we exchange the rates from dollars. So whoever was able to afford it actually and wanted to do it, they were all accepted. Yes.
Okay. And these women came from the same area of
No,
where you did the program or different areas?
no. From 5 different states in Brazil, we actually traveled a lot. From the 5 regions, we had 5 different states. No, sorry. We have 5 regions. We went to the four of the 5 regions in Brazil, 5 different states for 9 groups.
Okay. What were the major challenges that you saw while conducting this program? It might be the program of your company, or it might be the program of training 100 women in 100 days. Like, what is the major challenges have you seen?
Well, the major challenges were, first of all, keeping that, because we were not a company and I had no clue of what I was doing as a business. So keeping when I finalized the whole tour, I was like, oh, so I spent more money than I had. Okay, that was a challenge, but because traveling is expensive and I wasn't counting on that. But apart from that, the challenge was actually uh, how do I keep track of these women afterwards, and how do I measure the success afterwards? Because the program was a success, but now are they using the method that they have just learned? Are they applying that? Do they feel confident going to the market and selling themselves as a professional who's like better than before? Not just better, but a higher level of professional, because I'm now internationally certified. I am empowered by a method. I can deliver ideas and change that into benefits, because this is what we did. So this is the biggest challenge, I think. So understanding that and keeping track of that is very, very challenging. We contact these women, we try, but then unless I call and which is very complicated as well, but unless I go there and I talk to them specifically, I don't get like a major feedback from with the data that I need.
Okay. I think you did mention that this is going to be bilingual, and then you will be starting this in different countries. Like, so what languages are you looking at right now?
So deliver the training itself is very easy because it's in English, will be in English already this year, the training. But when I mentioned that bilingual will be everything that we will offer, so the whole uh, soon for next year we're gonna have the membership covering um, coaching sessions, language sessions, language learning sessions for any language in the world. We will cover management tools as well, so they can actually have some experience in that. So we should probably have that bilingual by the end of next year. But the trainings, which is different from our development proposal, the trainings in English, that's already a reality. But yes, and the languages, well, first English, which is already a challenge for us because we have many people. I mean, out of the 210 million people we have in Brazil, only 5% speak some English. Out of these 5%, maybe 1%, out of these 200 million, only 1% might have fluency. And out of these 1%, how many of them are women? And how many of them are empowered women who would be like me here speaking at an event for native speakers or for international people in a different language? So I don't know if I'll have instructors enough, but I hope so. So yeah.
Yeah, that is a very good point, actually. I was in Brazil in March this year. So it was really difficult to communicate with people in Brazil because I see English speakers are very, very, very limited. Not
Yeah,
that many people.
people say that the biggest island in the country, in the world, is Greenland, and then there's Australia. But the truth is that the biggest island in the world is Brazil. We are an
That's very
island
true.
because we're the only Portuguese-speaking country in Latin America. We don't even communicate with our neighbors. We don't live like, for example, I know, for example, just by the last names, when we see a group in the US, you see that you have people from wherever, from all over the world. In Brazil, you maybe you have one foreign friend, one foreigner as a friend, maybe. In the companies, maybe at the C level, one person is a foreigner, and sometimes the boyfriend of your friend is also foreigner.
Mhm.
But it's
Yeah.
not like there's the Chinese here and then there is another neighbor full of Koreans and then another Italian. None of that. So we are an island. It's not a global country for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to, to come back and see more English-speaking Brazilians. That would be awesome. We
Yeah,
had a,
that would be a dream come true.
we did have a translator, so that really worked out well for us. And if this has to be started in a different country, how would that be? Like, what would the other country has to do to start something like this?
For the 100 week, for the challenge, you mean, or for the whole initiative?
I can ask for
For everything.
both. I mean, 100 women in
For the
100 days is also
challenge,
very powerful.
all that the country needs to have is the potential for finding 100 women interested in project management. If not in person, we can do online as well. So 100 women divided in tops 3 groups, because the more the better for the online, because then we create a full buzz of a lot of people. So 3 groups, 100 people. If you have the potential for the people, the rest is on me. That's all I need. So do you have 100 women out there, English speaking, preferably, because I can speak Spanish as well, but I'm not the instructor, so I'm not sure. But yeah, either English, Spanish, or Portuguese to start with. We could do something. Yes. If you do, you think you have out there 100 women interested in project management? Contact us. We can deliver the 100 women in 100 days challenge.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, Vanessa. It was
Thank
great to
you.
hear from you. And for the attendees who are still here, I just wanted to let you all know that Vanessa is actually Giselle's sister. Giselle, you have seen her name come out every now and then. She's one of the Women in Deep Foundation's members of New York City chapter, and also the DFI, Women in Deep Foundations committee. So thank you so much. And if there's anything our team can do for you, please let us know. Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you.
Yeah. So before we end today, I just wanted to bring in a couple other things. So we are taking a break in October. There's going to be a lot of things going on in October. DFI Virtual 45th Annual Conference is going to be from 27th October through 30th October. Don't miss it. We will be back in November with 2 amazing speakers. The first speaker will be Elizabeth Velez. Some of you might know her. She is the chair of New York Building Congress. The date is not 100% November 3rd, just because November 3rd is election day, so we might be changing the date, but you will hear from us shortly. Next slide, please. And the second speaker in November is Ashley Shearer. She is a geotechnical engineer at DGOG Gray, and she will be talking about not being afraid to help others. So look out for our webinar series that will be coming up in November. And thank you so much for attending today, and see you all in November. Thank you.